Darling, just dive right in, follow my lead. Well, I found a girl, beautiful and sweet. Well, I never knew you were the someone waiting for me. 'Cause we were just kids when we fell in love, not knowing what it was. I will not give you up this time. But darling, just kiss me slow. Your heart is all I own, and in your eyes you're holding mine. Baby, I'm dancing in the dark with you between my arms, barefoot on the grass, we're listening to our favorite song. When you said you looked a mess, I whispered underneath my breath, but you heard it. Darling, you look perfect tonight. Well, I found a woman stronger than
Well, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Scott and Eniko, I would like to thank you for being here this afternoon, for taking the time and making the journey, and for all the effort that takes, not only to be a part of their day, but to be a part of each other's lives. Scott and Eniko have invited you here today to this very beautiful place to show you a glimpse of an important piece of their love, to share with you the views of the surrounding countryside and the love that they have for each other. But before I proceed any further, I have a very pleasant duty to perform. Traditionally, no bride should be married before she is given away by someone very close to her. And today, that person is standing beside her. So my question is simply, who gives this woman to be married to this man?
Te.
Can you say it? Yep, yes. Thank you, pal. Please take your seat. I'm just wondering if the lady and gentleman that I found lost are here.
Yes.
You're here. We both made the same mistake. We went the wrong way. And I had driven probably about 2 miles, but I said I should have been there by now. So we'd taken the
I
wrong
knew it was
driving.
her.
You knew I would do that?
Yeah. No, I knew it was her.
Well, why did you not tell me?
No, too
Please be
late.
seated, folks. Whenever we attend a wedding such as we are attending today, we're given a very special opportunity, and that is reflecting on our own relationships. We might look at the couple standing before us and try to compare the love that we have in our own relationship, but it's the wrong thing to do, because every relationship is unique. It's unique as the individuals in it. But one thing holds true. For love to exist between two people such as Scott and Eniko, each must allow the vulnerability of giving his or her love to the other, and each must be open to receiving the other's love in return. Therefore, each of us is a powerful creator of love. Each of us, every moment of every day, has the choice to dedicate ourselves to one another or to withhold their love and caring. If you ask couples who have a strong and abiding love what they like most about their partners, many will say when they're with that person, they don't have to pretend to be anything other than what they are. They are able to express themselves without fear of being judged or rejected. And there is room in the relationship for both of them to be unique individuals. They are free to surrender to the vulnerability of true intimacy, to be known and loved unconditionally. I believe we're now going to have a reading, and it's from
Rosalia.
Rosalie. Is this the Hungarian reading?
Yes.
Rosalie, is it?
Ilyen alkalmam sosem lett. Eni and Scott. Ezzel a verssel szeretnénk a ti csomagotokhoz hozzájárulni, a közös életetekhez. Egy magyar vers. Készfogó. A legszebb útra ma együtt léptek, igen kimondva, egymásra néztek. Ma lesztek két szívből egy páros, egy lélegzet, megvalósult háború. Szívetek együtt, egyszerre dobban, egymásnak lesztek jóban, s a rosszban. Szerelemnek hűség a párja, fogadjátok lelketek kitárva. Tietek a hatalmas végtelen szerelem s a hűség ereje. Igaz boldogsággal, kéz a kézben indultok egy új élet elébe. Gratulálok. Majd az igenhez megkapod.
Thank you so much. Scott and Eniko are now ready to say those very important words. Words that will seal their love for each other forever. However, before I do that, I want Eniko and Scott to face each other and to hold each other's hands. What I want you to do is very special. I want you to look at the hands that you're holding, because these are the hands of your best friend, young and strong and full of love for you. Hands that are holding yours on this your wedding day, as you promise to love each other today, tomorrow and forever. These are the hands that will work alongside yours as together you build your future as husband and wife. These are the hands that will passionately love you and cherish you throughout the years. And with the slightest touch will comfort you like no other can. These are the hands that will hold you when fear or grief temporarily comes to you. These are the hands that will countless times wipe tears from your eyes, tears of joy and tears of sorrow. These are the hands that will tenderly hold your children, the hands that will join your family as one. These are the hands that will give you strength whenever you need it, and support and encouragement, allowing you to pursue your dreams and comfort throughout difficult times. And finally, these are the hands that even when wrinkled and aged, will still be reaching for yours, still giving you the same unspoken tenderness with just a touch. Ladies and gentlemen, throughout time, countless millions of people from many different cultures, religions and societies have gathered among friends and families to celebrate. Each culture has symbols and rituals to celebrate their marriage, from the Chinese tea ceremony to the Jewish tradition of breaking the glass. So look at one another now and remember this moment in time. Before this moment came, you have been many things to each other. Teacher, pupil, co-worker, friend, fiancé. And now you will say a few words that take you across a new threshold of life, and things will never be the same with you again. For after these vows, Scott, you will be able to say, this is my wife Anika. And Anika, you will be able to say, this is my husband, Scott. Nothing is easier than standing there and saying the words. Nothing is more difficult than living them day by day. When you love someone, you do not love them all the time in exactly the same way, because that is impossible. Yet that's what most of us expect. We forget the ebb and the flow of life and of love and relationships. And we insist on permanence and duration and continuity. But in love, as in life, the only stability is to change in growth and in freedom. Therefore, what you promise today must be renewed and reaffirmed tomorrow and all the days to come. You're doing the traditional version,
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, can you please stand for the vows? Looking only at Anika, but listening to me, would you, Scott, now repeat your mind vow? I, Scott,
I, Scott,
take you, Anika,
take you, Anika,
to be my lawful wedded wife.
to be my lawful wedded wife.
Lawful, not awful.
Yeah.
To have and to hold,
To have and to hold,
from this day forward,
from this day forward,
for better, for worse,
for better, for worse,
for richer, for poorer,
for richer, for poorer,
to love and to cherish,
to love and to cherish,
in sickness and in health,
in sickness and in health,
for as long as we both shall live.
for as long as we both shall live.
I, Anika,
I, Annika,
take you, Scott,
take you, Scott,
to be my wedded husband,
to be my wedded husband,
to have and to hold,
have and to hold,
from this day forward,
from this day forward,
for better, for worse,
for better, for worse,
for richer, for poorer,
for richer, for poorer,
to love and to cherish,
to love and to cherish,
in sickness and in health,
in sickness and in health,
for as long as we both shall live.
for as long as we both shall live.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is the point in the ceremony when people usually talk about the wedding rings, which are a perfect circle, having no beginning and no end. And we all know that rings do have a beginning. The rock is dug up from the ground, metals are liquefied in a furnace and it's at 1,000 degrees. The hot metal is forged, cooled and then painstakingly polished. And something beautiful comes out of that raw element. And this is what we have now here. Rings that Anika and Scott will now exchange. And I've asked the best man for the first of these two. We always do that today. And repeat after me. Anika, I take you now as my wife.
Anika, I take you now as my wife,
And with this wedding ring,
and with this wedding ring,
I wed you
I wed you
and honour you
and honour you,
with all that I am
with all that I am
and all that I have.
and all that I have.
Anika, would you please take this ring and place it on the third finger of Scott's left hand, repeating these words as you do so. Scott, I take you now
Scott, I take you now
as my husband,
as my husband,
and with this wedding ring,
and with this wedding ring,
I wed you
I wed you
and honour you
and honour you
with all that I am
with all that I am
and all that I have.
and all that I have.
Hold your hands together, please. Scott and Anika, today here in this place you have consented to each other in holy matrimony and have declared before these witnesses gathered here. You have exchanged wedding rings and you have exchanged your wedding vows. And it is now with a very humble heart that I pronounce that you, Scott Steve,
I found a girl,
are now husband.
beautiful and sweet.
Scott, you may kiss your bride. Scott and Eva,
Cause we were
as you
just
take your
kids when we
first step,
fell
you'll remember
in
this
love,
day.
not knowing what it was. I will not give you up this
As you take your second step,
time.
you'll
Darling,
celebrate
just
this day
kiss
as you became
me slow. between my arms, barefoot on the grass, listening to our favorite song. When you said you looked a mess, I whispered underneath my breath. You heard it. Well, I found a woman stronger than anyone I know. She shares my dreams. I hope that someday I'll share her home. I found a love to carry more than just my secrets, to carry love, to carry children of our own. We are still kids, but we're so in love, fighting against all odds. I know we'll be alright this time. Well, darling, just hold my hand, be my girl, I'll be your man. I see my future in your eyes. Baby, I'm dancing in the dark, you between my arms,
Bride and groom, have a nice.
barefoot
Just
on
it.
the grass, listening to our favorite song. When I saw you in the dress, looking so beautiful, I don't deserve this. Darling, you
Wonderful. Right, we'll get the bride and groom.
baby, I'm dancing in the
Smile,
dark,
guys.
with you between my arms, listening to our favorite song. I have faith in what I see. I know I have deserved it.
There we go. So, hello, everyone. And I used to think that this was a little bit cringy, and I now understand the immense power of standing here and saying that on behalf of my wife and I, we'd like to welcome you all here tonight. It's been great so far. What I will say is, if you've not done so already, I assume some of you will have done, given some of the people that are here, please help yourself to a drink. Make sure you have a full glass, because we're going to be doing some toasting with a twist. So that's going to go well. So, just when you're ready, folks, it's going to be an as I'm talking type deal, and you are going to be filling your own glasses. So, because that way you can have as much as you want, which I'm sure is, not stupid. Okay, I want to start, as you're doing that, I just want to say, first of all, it means so much to us to have so many people here today, friends, families from all over the world, and we're really happy. I want to say thanks, first of all, to you for your generous words, kind words, presents, gifts, cards, etc. Thanks also to Eileen for the very heavy mystery present, which we haven't opened yet, but it was very heavy and I'm very excited by it. Thanks for that. Also want to say thanks, particularly, we will do, we'll get to that. Thanks, Stephen. Thanks. I want to say a few very quick, specific thank yous. Okay, first of all to my cousin Lee. Okay, for designing the welcome boards and the seating plans and everything. They look amazing. So thanks very much. Thanks for that. I also want to say thanks to Tamar specifically for doing all your little table, like what's the real name for them? Place cards. Place cards, that's the one. I'd like to also say a very, very big thank you to my Auntie Margaret for her speech and her little poem. And also, at the same time, to say thank you. Where's Holvan Roja Mama? Thanks very much to Roja Mama, that's what I call it, for her beautiful Hungarian speech. That was great too. Very, very quickly, this is something that I wanted to say just very quickly so I don't get too emotional. And this is how my Uncle Wilson, or Nunky, did it at Gemma's wedding. So there's lots and lots of people who aren't here today for lots of different reasons. People who are all over the world, far-flung places, and also people who aren't with us anymore. So we're thinking about them today also. And yeah, and you know who they are. Most of you know who a lot of those people are. I do hope that you're all looking forward to a glorious Hungarian feast. Some of you that might have seen the slowly roasting carcass of the hog outside, sorry Jane, for the vegetarians. We're going to have a great Hungarian feast. I'm not going to keep you too long, I promise. So, I would like to say one thing first of all. I would like to say Köszönöm szépen to all of the Hungarians who have come here, particularly those that have travelled a long distance to be here with us today. We really do appreciate that. You're very lucky. You're very lucky to see our country before it slides into the post-apocalyptic nightmare of Brexit. I can only apologise on behalf of my country. You made it in just in time. Hopefully you'll get back out again. We'll look back on this day with fondness in the future, when we're all living in caves, scavenging for rat meat and offering ritual sacrifices to the blood god Boris. Now, I had planned on giving some of the speech in Hungarian. I'm just not going to do it, because the Hungarians would not understand it any more than the English speakers would. That's the genuine truth. But we are going to do one thing, okay? So we're going to do a few little toasts. We're going to keep them quick. You know, keep the pace up. And what we're going to do is, when I get you to say cheers, you're not going to say cheers. Okay? Instead, and you're going to all have to repeat this after me and just do your best, you're going to say egészségedre. Okay? So, let's just do because I'm a teacher, I need you all to do a proper practice. We're going to go on 3. So, 1, 2, 3. Egészségedre. Really roll your mouth. Egészségedre. Okay? Mixed results, but we'll continue. Now, nice looking at. Okay, well done, folks. Right. I haven't yet had enough whiskey or palanca to be fluent in Hungarian. I will be fluent later on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hand over now to a very important man. And that man is Bush Szabolcs. Okay, now, that's Szabi, but I said it in the formal Hungarian way. And also, I just want to say, for those who didn't know, our translator cancelled on us last week. Okay? So, we've asked Szabi to do this, both because he's a very loved and valued member of the family, but he's also not charging us anything. Okay? Now, through the wonders of modern technology, I'm going to begin ranging towards him. And here he is, Bush Szabolcs.
Szeretettel köszöntöm a mennyasszonyt, a vőlegényt, szülőket, nagyszülőket, barátokat és mindenki, aki eljött erre a csodálatra. A húgocskám felvetette az ötletet, hogy mi lenne, ha beszédet mondanék az esküvőn. Rengeteget gondolkodtam rajta, hogy ilyenkor mit is kellene mondani, milyen frappáns beszédet tartani. Kedves Enikő, már 27 éve, hogy a testvérem vagy. Mikor pici baba voltál, anya azt mondta, hogy rengeteget foglalkoztam veled, mindig játszani akartál, enni, vagy csak úgy kiveteti magad a kiságyból és velem játszani. Ezekre szerencsére én már nem emlékszem, hisz nagyon kicsi voltam. Ahogy telt az idő, szépen lassan elkezdtünk felnőni. Egyre többször volt, hogy nem értettünk egyet, és ilyenkor vagy te, vagy én, de általában te sértődött a másikra. De mindig volt valami, amiért kibékültünk, általában nem muszáj volt. És biztos vagyok benne, hogy nagyon szeretsz, noha sokszor nem mutattad ki. Lassacskán érettnő lettél, egyetemre mentél, ja, az nem te vagy. Ma már dolgozol, el is költöztél otthonról nagy sokára, de azért elég sokat beszélünk. Rengeteg mindent köszönhetsz nekem, például, hogy azzá váltál, aki most vagy. Megbocsátottam baklövéseidet, gúnyolódásaidat, mindent, amivel megbántottál régebben. Tisztelek azért, mert ilyen odaadó, aggódó szívű, szeretetre méltó nő vagy, nő lettél, mint ami vagy. Köszönöm, hogy mindig itt vagy nekem, tesó, ha szükséged van.
Now, folks, it's traditional at this point. I'm going to now do. I've went on Google, and there's a traditional structure which I'm adhering to. If you're a colleague of mine teaching, you'll recognise that. I want to start with a big one. I want to say a massive thanks to someone who turned my world upside down, who made my heart skip a beat, someone whose smile lights up my days, who makes me want to be a better person. Someone who made me experience a roller coaster of emotions. So I'd like to say thanks to Dawn, the bus driver from the Stag Do. He was a really great guy, but not such a good driver, and we're all very lucky to be alive. They've been a great source of advice, support and assistance all throughout the process. Eni's mum has done a great job baking all the cakes and everything else for tonight, and all the gerbo, pogaccia, linzer, torta, all the famous Hungarian cakes. Well done, thank you, thank you. What I will say, I know there are a few sort of bakers and chefs and things in the room. The pineapple upside down cake that I made in home economics in Ellen Academy in 1993 is still talked about to this day. But I think on balance we made the right choice. Also like to say a big thanks to Ergie and Pali for bringing Eni into the world, obviously. Eni's brothers all claim that she was found wrapped in newspaper in a cornfield. So thanks for taking pity on her and bringing her up as your own child. They made the hard decision to move from Hungary to live in the UK over 10 years ago. They moved from a country that I think is in many ways beautiful and wonderful. There are some issues there, you know, some inequalities, economy ravaged by years of communism and Soviet domination. A place where it's quite hard to live sometimes, I know that. And so it's perhaps ironic that you ended up living in Maastricht. But I do salute you and your pioneer spirit, because if you hadn't ever come over here, Eni and I would never have met. So thanks a lot for that. Thanks indeed. Special thanks also to Pali, because every single time I have ever gone to his house, every time, be it 7:30 in the morning, you know, like Thursday afternoon, he has always, and this is true, offered me palinka. Palinka? Palinka? As you. Also, what can I say about my own mum and dad? So this is where I'm probably going to cry a little bit. Anne and Ian. They did a great job bringing me and my sister up, even if, despite what they will say, we did have chips fried in lard most nights. And that's probably why we're so fit and healthy right now. They've always been there for us without any question or hesitation throughout our whole lives. Hopefully Eni and I have not caused you too much stress in the run-up to the wedding. Thanks to my mum for her help and advice, for not getting up to high dough near as much as I thought she would, and especially for calming us down during what I'm going to refer to as Zika-gate, when we had to change our honeymoon destination. Thanks also to my dad for sharing all of his advice and experience, his kind of years of experience as a head master and organising things and getting things to go right. And a special thanks for dancing joyfully in Cheers Gay Bar on the stag do with a pole dancer. They've been really supportive in lots of ways, and often it was just a quick phone call that was all that was needed to sort everything out, so that's been great. I think, just seriously, just a little serious bit, my mum and dad have been there for me throughout my whole life, whenever I've needed them, no questions, so thanks. So what I want to say that thanks, and then we're going to do our first Hungarian cheers. So, here is to our parents. I would like you to please raise your glasses and say after me, Egészségedre. That was really good. That was really good. Well done, folks. Okay. Do you not want to pour some drinks for themselves to have the toast? Okay. So, also want to say a big thanks to the bridesmaids and the flower girls today for all of your hard work. Sadie, Evie and Hannah did a great job today. I know they were a little bit nervous. They looked amazing. They did brilliantly. So well done from both of us. You all look like wee princesses. Now I know this is particularly from Eni, but the bridesmaids, Jane, my sister Jane, and my sister-in-law Rosia have been a great help. I think that Eni's loved having someone there to help her that she can kind of just speak to or message or whatever. Thanks to Jane for her organisational skills, which are legendary, like just amazing, and for letting us use her house as a venue as well. I know Eni's appreciated that and just been great support, and it's been amazing, and thanks a lot for that. So here again, perhaps quicker than you were expecting, here is to the flower girls and the bridesmaids. Please raise your glasses and repeat, now that you've got it, probably a little bit louder would be great. Egészségedre. Now, we're almost there, folks. I'd like to thank the ushers for all of their help. So I'd first of all like to say thanks very much to Bush Zoltan, Zolly, the legend that is Zolly Cam, Eni's brother, and thanks for your ushering duties for making sure the Hungarians got here. That was good. Like all of Eni's brothers, he is built like a WWF wrestler. I think, but if you know that, the classic golden era 80s, 90s, a sort of big boss man build, with the authority of the big boss man, I have to say as well. So thanks very much. And it also means, thankfully, like they're pretty big guys, they're quite scary, Eni's brothers, and you know, they've welcomed me into the family, so I want to say thank you. And we also didn't need to hire any bouncers for Kaylee, because just terrifying, strong, large men, so that's great as well. I also want to now thank someone who's very special in a lot of different ways. Big shout out to my good friend, my friend of 26 years, Bob, who's sitting over there. Thankfully recovered now from a few weeks ago when he spewed all over himself after tasting palinka for the first time on Union Street. Bob, I'd just genuinely like to say, despite your deep, crippling weirdness and utter detachment from reality, you've actually done a great job today, against all the odds. And a very quick anecdote to illustrate his detachment. About 2 weeks ago, I was on the phone to Bob. We're organising just to meet up for a coffee. Being a teacher, I have generous holidays. Bob said to me during the phone call, "Are you going anywhere on holiday this summer?" Classic Bob, that as if he's a barber or someone serving me in Tesco as opposed to my friend of 26 years. I assume he's read it somewhere in a book of how to start conversations. So, "Are you going on holiday this summer?" I replied, slightly confused, "Well, Bob, I'm going on honeymoon because I'm getting married in 2 weeks' time, and you're an usher, remember?" A very long silence followed as Bob mulled over this info before eventually saying, "Oh, yes." So I'm glad to see that you made it here, Bob. And I just want to say here is to the fantastic ushers, Zolly, and Bob. So please raise your glasses again. Egi Shegedra. Now, this penultimate section, for those that are interested in that, this is the most important part. I'm now speaking on behalf of myself. I'm speaking about my wife. Now, I promised I wouldn't make this part too cheesy, because Eni actually asked me not to do so. And as I'm getting older and ravaged by the years, I'm becoming much more sentimental. And I well up at lots of things. One is any time on EastEnders where it's the longer music at the end. So any, like, you know, when Kathy went to South Africa, that sort of thing. That, I get very emotional at that. And also any video where animals from different species become friends. That's a big one. That's a big one. So an Alsatian, like, becoming friends with an orphaned deer. That sort of thing. So I'm going to keep this quite brief. Yeah, it's a strange turn. Okay, so in so many ways, Eni is everything to me. She's funny, kind, clever, and a million times more practical, determined, and just generally useful than I am. We laugh together every single day, which is true. Usually when I've tried but failed to successfully complete a very basic DIY task. Thanks to Zolly and Sabi again for taking care of all my mistakes. There's no one else in the whole world with whom I'd rather spend the rest of my life, and that's the truth. You are the Stacey to my Gavin, and the rhubarb to my crumble. Little couple of in-jokes there. We get on so well, I think we make a really fantastic team. And now we're looking forward to an even more exciting future with our own little family. I just want to say, the name Robin with a Y is purely provisional. Although John Watson seems to think we've settled on that, so that's great. Slightly strange. I promise I will try my best to be a good partner in life, a decent husband and a father. I'll try to make you happy in any way I can. Now, you know my Hungarian is not great, but I can say one thing very well. Szeretlek, Enikő. I love you, Enikő, and I always will. So here is to the real star of the day and of my universe, even though she hates being the centre of attention. So an extra loud one for this one. Please raise your glasses. Here is to Eni, Egi Shegedra. And now I come to the end. I come to the handover. And I'm going to hand over to my best man, Hugh. What else is there to be said about my best man, Hugh? Pedagogue? So misprint. It's wine enthusiast, cultivator of, I've heard, excellent potatoes.
Absolutely.
That's not a euphemism. He took up a large amount of his lawn and he's growing potatoes now. The greatest drummer of his generation. Pause for whoops. Michael knows what I'm talking about. Owner of many fine leather-bound books. A very educated man. Leading authority, national or international, on espadrilles. Very big fan. And, just to get this one in here, my fellow University Challenge contestant. 19 years ago. Correct. 19 years ago. Just let that sink in. Okay. The best man, my favourite man. We have been mistaken for...
Steal that. Don't ruin that.
Sorry. We've been mistaken for a homosexual couple on multiple occasions. And I am sure we both wear that allegation like a genuine badge of honour. Thanks, big mate, for all of your help and support during the preparations. As usual, you have been there for me when I needed you. Every time, just like you have throughout the last 25 years. Now, Hugh has assured me that this speech is in no way offensive or slanderous. But, with a fair few lawyers in the room, I would like to remind you all that defamation is in Scotland a very serious offence. Scots civil law relating to it has been developed through centuries of common law precedent and is further supplemented, for example, by the Defamation Acts of both 1952 and 1996. Currently, the law is under review by the Scottish Government with an aim towards tightening it, if anything. So, that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I give you my best man, Hugh Charles Alexander Stewart Jr.